Hi there, I'm Jessica, and I'm here to talk to you today about this. What is this? Why do I use this in my presentations? This is an example of how we can think about the body's design. It's a tensegrity structure. I learned about tensegrity structures from Tom Myers. He wrote this awesome book, Anatomy Trains. Before I talk about this specifically though, I want to talk more generally about how force is distributed. Compression. That's one way force can be distributed. A force we all have to deal with every day is gravity, this downward pressure. If I was distributing the force through my body solely through compression, you could think of my structure as separate pieces stacked on top of each other, pressing down all the way to my feet. So my head sits on top of my spine, the rib cage, the pelvis, the leg bones, all the way down to the feet. The pressure, by the time it got all the way to my little feet, would be incredible. I don't think those little guys down there could handle that kind of compression. That's not how we're designed. Think of a building though, a multi-story building. And when you build a building, you put down all this concrete, rebar, really solid, strong infrastructure at the bottom, because they know when they're building this that that's where all the compression force is going to be. The top floors press down on each floor below. So the bottom floor has the most compression. The top floor is less. Compression, one way force can be distributed. Now let's consider a second, through tension. I have my keys here. I'm gonna just suspend them on this string. You'll notice I have a nice Thor hammer, one of my dirty little secrets. Thanks to a friend, I have this cool keychain. When I suspend my keys from this string, gravity wants to pull it down. The string, however, has strength. It can deal with that force of gravity. It pulls up and distributes tension through this whole structure to maintain the keys from falling to the ground. So tension is the second way we can distribute force. Now this cool little structure, this tensegrity structure, which represents our body, even cooler structure, combines those two things. These dowels, strong, hopefully unbreakable pieces, they resist being compressed. They actually press out in this structure. The elastics, which represent our soft tissues. The fascia, which is this web of connective tissue throughout our body from our head to our toe. It's all interconnected. Our muscles, our tendons, our ligaments, all of those things are represented by the elastics, and they press in. It's this combination of compression pushing out from the bones and tension pressing in by the soft tissue that helps us maintain a balanced, strong structure. See here how everything is connected. And if I manipulate one area of this model, that is not the only area that's moving. It's also affecting other sides. See another view here. If I bring those together, you can see how these two in front move farther apart. And these also move a little bit. Here's another view of it. See how this guy moved? Might be hard to see with my hands. But it all is distributed through this structure. And when we create tension in that soft tissue, the whole system becomes tighter. Now, the point I like to make using this is that often we look at pain and we treat it locally. If I hurt here, for instance, that's where we treat. And that may work, but if there's an underlying cause, such as a tension in our system, or let's get really wild, 2, even more deformed in the structure, and we don't address those, treating this local pain may not work. It may not last. It's the whole system that needs to be addressed because of how the system works. Tom Meyer says it's really well. He talks about the bones floating within the soft tissue. They're suspended in this matrix. I think that's a really great way to think about this. Not compression alone, not tension, but a combination where the bones, their position is really dictated by what's going on with those soft tissues. If we extrapolate this, I'm going to show you a picture here, to the human body. This is a rudimentary picture. It's going to get the point across though. And you can see the body and the dowels, move that in closer. And it gives you an idea of how we're designed. And over here is an example of what happens when like a force comes down. The whole structure is deformed. These are some images from my book, Winning the Injury Game. This is my baby. It just came out, really excited about it. I want it to be a great resource to help you. So if you want to know more about tensegrity, about pain, healing pain, using alignment, not just physical, but mental, emotional, spiritual even, if you're interested in how to train for your sport without getting hurt, with confidence, check it out. It's on my website, thepfathlete.com. I've got several excerpts in my blog so you can get a taste of what's in there. And I'd love to hear what you think about this video. I hope to do more this year. So go ahead and leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay aligned and keep moving. See ya.